All right, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Bangtao's page. So, I'm Che. I'm the assistant coach for wrestling at Bangtao Muay Thai. Got Quentin over here helping me out, showing me some of these techniques. He and I go back several years, so always been a good training partner for me. What we're showing today is kind of the theme of what we covered in the classes this week. We started out the week with a little bit of body lock defense, and then we put that onto the wall, how the over-under, like one underhook here, one overhook here, how that translates Quentin's back being on the wall, but also how it works out in the open, right? For this video, we're just gonna talk about the system that we just started playing around with out in the open, right? And just kind of give you a little bit of context. So then whether you use these moves or not, or use another move to kind of plug your own pieces of your own game into the technique, that's where I kind of envision this to go. So starting out, right, just a couple ideas from the over-under. I'm here like this, right? Number one thing I want to be mindful of is shoulder position. If my shoulder's below Quentin's shoulder line here, right, I'm in a much better spot, right? All of my attacks are going to work here. Whether I want to get to the legs, whether I want to trip, throw, right? My shoulder needs to be below for me to be effective here. If Quentin's shoulder's below mine, right, I can't get to his legs from here, right? He can bring those legs back and I'm stuck behind his, in front of his shoulder, right? So keeping that in mind, as soon as you're in an upper body position, you take the risk out of upper body by making sure that your shoulder is below their shoulder line, right? So that's idea number one. Now, number two, any kind of system that you want to put in an upper body setting, right? There's going to have to be a move where you bring them backwards, right? Double leg, knee tap, we'll talk about each in a second. And there's going to have to be some moves where you make the person come forwards, right? So two main directions and then possibly a left and a right component too. That list of techniques can be 2 or 3 deep, right? It doesn't have to be extensive. You don't have to learn every single technique that's out there. As long as you're familiar with a few techniques that kind of work together well, side by side, right? Then you're in a good spot from the over-under or any kind of clinch, throw, upper body takedown system, right? Option one, right? One thing that we started out with was switching the stance, right? So Quentin is strong here, but because he wants this foot to be underneath his underhook, right? A lot of times people will try to like lift the underhook up and the power comes from the foot here. So if we switch the stance on him, then his underhook becomes much weaker. The way we do that is just to use that underhook, pull, switch the stance, right? Once the stance is switched, Quentin doesn't have as much power in his underhook anymore, right? And so from here, I'm bringing my head off the center line, right? Just to rotate a little bit. If my neck is up on the shoulder here, right? This is gonna be problematic because I cannot reach the legs as easily. As soon as my ear goes off this shoulder line down to the elbow, right? I've got a much better shot at grabbing this knee, right? So that first technique, right? Once I get that pull, I'm gonna go ear down to the elbow, right? Down to the tricep. And then whether I go for a knee pick or an ankle pick, that's up to your personal preference. So I'm here, I dip down, let's say I go for the ankle, right? And then my arm, my underhook is just gonna push that way, right? End up in some kind of like chest to chest connection. I'm here, I've connected this, I get that stance switch, right? Notice I've already got good shoulder position, right? I'm down here, and now this is where I'm gonna gun for it. Just like that. So that's option one. Option two is, right, notice we brought him backwards just now. We've got to have an option to bring him forwards as well, right? So Quentin, once I make this connection here like this, for him to stop this attack, all he really needs to do is to lean forwards on me, right? So if I go here, right, and he gives me a forward lean, I can't sit him down to his butt like I did before. And so if I'm going down this way, right, and if I start feeling that forward lean, then I'm gonna have to bring him the other way, which is gonna be some kind of grip around the calf, hamstring, whatever. But the underhook is gonna be doing a lot to basically pull him over my right shoulder, right? So I'm here, sweeping around to the calf or the hamstring, and then I'm gonna go rotating over like this. Right, so one more time. I guess one more time from this angle is okay, yeah. So I'm here, right? Let's say I go for that first technique first, right? I want my pick, right? It's not there. So once I get this forward lean, this is perfect, right? I'm gonna pull this underhook, pull it really far across, right? My chest is basically doing a 180-degree turn and then getting that rotation in, right? So even just from that same footwork, right, it makes it really difficult to predict for your opponent where they want their body weight to be. If they're a little bit too upright, we bring them back, right? If they're leaning forwards, to prevent that from happening, we can still pull them forwards, all from the same position. So it makes it really difficult to predict. Now, the next option, right, because there are a few different ways to respond to this on the defending side, right? If I'm here and I've got this pull, right, one thing that happens sometimes from here is that they'll bring this leg back, right? Once they bring that leg back, that's exactly it, right? So now this leg's the one in front. So once this leg is in front here, right, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to really try to gun for this too much. I can try to circle towards it, but sometimes, right, it's just a losing battle. It takes more energy for me. So I can use this massive off balance that he put himself in, right? Still bringing my body down here. And then instead I'm going far knee pick, right? So here, grab the elbow, controlling the shoulder, right? And I'm thinking of pushing the shoulder through to the far knee, right? So I'm here, I'm down, my right arm goes behind the leg, right? And then I'm just gonna go through, just like that, right? Right, I'm here, I'm going this way, right? Once I feel like I can't reach this leg anymore, right? Pushing this elbow, pushing the shoulder through to the knee. Notice the leg stays in the same spot. It's the rest of the body that goes past, right? So I'm here, block, drive, right? And that follows through with the knee pick. And so finally, right, there is another situation where, let's say now this time, I can't get either of those legs back, right? But that means there's a massive forward lean. So let's say I'm here, I got this, I can't reach for this, Quentin takes his leg back, right? I also can't reach for that back leg, right? So now let's say it's just completely out of range for me. So from here I have two options, right? Option one, nice and simple, is if you can get to the front headlock, absolutely, right? So overhook, jams in, right? Put my hand over the top, I can go here if I want to. But sometimes the issue is, if they clamp really hard on this underhook, right, I might not be able to pull it out. So if I'm keeping this and I've got this, let's say I'm still going for the legs, right, I can't reach. So both of those legs are back. Yeah, I've got that forward lean. His chest and his shoulders are leaning far in front of his feet, right? I'm just gonna bring him forwards, lock my hands, drop my knee down to the side, knee drop, whip over, right? So the key to that one is, as I drop, I have to make sure my knee lines up with Quentin's feet, right? That way he doesn't have any post to go there, right? So I'm here, right? I've done my reset. I go for this leg's not there, right? The other leg's not there either. I got that forward lean. I can lock my hands up, put my knee down to the side there, and really get Quentin to fall forwards, right? Cool. All right. So that was part of the sequence that we learned this week, right? But just kind of to recap, to summarize, right? You want an option that brings them back. You want an option that brings them forwards. You want to have an option for a left and a right. And then finally, you want to be able to have a response for maybe the first, second, or third thing they might do in response to your primary attacks, right? So give it a try, play around with that idea, and that's kind of how you build up your own system to really work in an upper body position. If you enjoyed this kind of content, if you want to play around with techniques like these, right, we try to do our best to make everything fit together systematically, right? So Mondays and Fridays, fundamental wrestling at 9 a.m. And then on top of that, we've got, for the more experienced people, MMA grappling on Mondays, wall wrestling on Wednesdays, and wrestling for MMA at 4 p.m. on Thursdays, right? So all those classes are at 4 p.m. Come by and check us out.